Okay, so in this video we're going to have a translation and a discussion of the first of the prose project passages for AP Latin 2026-2027. And so what we have here is a discussion of the Emperor Trajan by John of Salisbury, who called himself Little John. So make sure you don't confuse him with the Little John of Robin Hood, nor the crunk rapper of the early 2000s, Little John. So let's go ahead and get started. As we are told in the introduction, he is quoting, or he is using Eutropius, an earlier Roman historian, for his discussion that we have here of the Emperor Trajan, who ruled 98 CE to 117. Nevertheless, fuit from sum esse fu veterus, he has been, of such great fortitude, strength, bravery, and civility. So here we have the two aspects of Trajan right at the offset. Get you an emperor who can do both, who can be a great military man in fortitudinous as well as a civilian. And it is our genitive of characteristic that we have with tantai modifying obviously both genitives. Ut, that as a result, and so we have a result clause here, that's going to require a subjunctive verb, which is exactly what we turn into or run into with defunderet, which is an imperfect subjunctive. That as a result, he stretched, as I think in the notes it tells us this is the equivalency of tendo tendere, longly and widely the borders of the Roman Empire. The empire, which is neuter and singular, so the antecedent of the quote, which, after Augustus, the very first Roman emperor, more so had been defended than nobly expanded. And so right off the bat we find out that he is so great expanding the Roman Empire in the exact same way that Augustus had. And for those emperors that were in between them, they were more about defending and contraction, and so therefore not our guy Trajan. However, Tamen, he did surpass, perfect tense, his military glory with moderation. And the note for this project passage talks quite a bit about moderatione, more than just moderation, but a sense of responsibility, a sense of being a good leader, a sense of humbling yourself, a sense of not lording it over others because of your position. Nevertheless, and now we're going to have a whole bunch of present active participles modifying our understood subject Trajan, he. And we start out with exhibanes. And so, exhibiting himself, and the notes imply that you would perhaps want an essay, exhibiting himself to be, or you could just say exhibiting himself as equal to all at Rome, locative case, and through the provinces. And so he doesn't lord it over his subjects. He does not obviously place himself in a position of superiority, but rather equal to all, truly. Nevertheless, frequenting or visiting his friends for the sake of saying hello, for the sake of greeting. He'll just pop in on you when you're a friend of Trajan. Either those friends being sick, agrotantes, or on festival days. He will come to your 4th of July cookout. That is indeed to be said for a great leader like Trajan. He, holding banquets, in turn, just an adverb, and instead of banquets again, backyard barbecues. Holding backyard barbecues indistinguishable with these same guys. And so when he comes to your 4th of July cookout and you're cooking hamburgers and hot dogs, that's what he's going to be cooking as well. Indistinguishable. He's not going to bust out fancy filet mignon. This guy is a down-to-earth kind of fellow, our man Trajan. He utanes. And remember that the deponent verb, utor, uti, usasum, is going to require an ablative object. And that's what we exactly have with the long is there and the ibis that is there. And so using indistinguishably their vehicles and their clothings, i.e. his friends. He's not out there driving a Ferrari. He's driving Honda Civic like everybody else. He's not wearing Armani suit like everybody else. He's wearing jeans and a hoodie. And so therefore, truly a man indistinguishable from the people. He detons, enriching all, publicly and privately. He largianes, which is told as the equivalency of dodare. So giving tax immunity to citizenries. And so over time, the tax burden upon many groups of people and different citizenries have really become burdensome by Trajan's time. And so Trajan's going to step in and give those tax immunity. He, another present active participle, relaxing the tax burdens. That's what the tributa are in the provinces. And then a really nice chiasmus is what we have here, showing that contrast of A, B, B, A burden, as we are substantizing this adjective, to nobody, dear to all. That's what Trajan is in a nutshell. Burden to none, dear to all. So much so, areo ut, that, and this in the note it's told, he's essentially quoting Eutropius verbatim, because obviously there is not a Roman Senate in the 12th century with little John, John of Salisbury, but this is Eutropius's words speaking later on in the, I think he was 4th century, the 300s or so. Maybe 3rd century, I'm not quite sure for Eutropius' dates. So much so that, ut, another result clause, as a result, usque, all the way to our age, and this is Eutropius' age, in the Senate, not differently to the emperors, it is shouted, it is acclaimed. A jussive subjunctive, may you be more fortunate than Augustus, because ablet is by, with, because of, from, in, on, at, than, may you be better than Trajan. Trajan is the gold standard, the princeps optimus. And so when a new emperor comes into play, the Roman Senate lets them know, may you be better than Trajan, because he's the best that we've had. Sic itaque. Therefore, seek in such a way, and they give us in the note, we translate memoriae eis, on behalf of his memory, it has been brought down. And the reputation of his goodness, of his kindness, has prevailed, so much so that, again, another result clause, to his praising friends or to his flattering friends. And there's a note on this as well. The praising friends are the true blue friends. These, assentantibus, are the sycophants, the brown nosers, the ones that are sucking up just to obviously gain benefit. But to all of them, both the true friends, the ones praising, and to the flattering ones, his reputation offers up praestet, the opportunity of the most magnificent example. And so again, Trajan's reputation is the gold standard. It is the way by which leaders and emperors are going to be judged. And the hope is that you will be in some way like him. So make sure that you know your project passages through and through. Be able to obviously summarize the passage as a whole, the first third, the second third, the third third, and know the content. So good studying and good luck.